Life was good for Maria and me. We both worked at a fashion magazine, me as an accountant, and Maria as an assistant editor. We met at work about 23 years ago and instantly hit it off. We got married and had 20 happy years together. Our days were pretty routine: work, home, and spending time together. We even commuted to the office together. We have a son who's 19 now, studying in another city. Life slowed down a bit when he left, but our evenings became more exciting. It felt like we were teenagers again, rushing home to have some fun. Our routine changed, and we enjoyed the newfound freedom. Being alone at home made us realize how much we missed each other. We started to connect in a different way, rediscovering the passion we had when we first met. There was even a wild incident where we got caught by cops getting intimate in a parking lot. The cops were understanding, but it became a story to tell. But as life goes, unexpected things happened, and our journey took a turn we didn't see coming. There was an opening for the editor at the office as the earlier one left. So, Maria was excited that it could be her chance for getting the promotion. Her dreams were shattered when the new editor arrived. The woman who came in was devil incarnated, Amber. Let me just describe her. She was in her late 30s and single. She had the Karen haircut, short and blonde. Glasses resting on her nose and a smug smile. Dressed in a skirt with the top pushing out her assets all the way to the sky. I guess that was intentional for people to just focus on them rather than her face. Her attitude was a mix of Rachel Zegler and Brie Larson, arrogant and obnoxious. Just forgot to add there was no backside on her, just a pancake. I guess it was just highlighting the assets and hiding the negatives. Now let's get back on the story. Maria was a bit down, but I tried my best to cheer her up. Took her out for dinner and got home to give her a nice back rub. My troubles started the very next day. Maria met Amber. Amber gave her a sneering look and asked why is she still an assistant, even after working for last 23 years. Maria told her that the post was never open. She then said that Maria should have left her job and moved to a different place. Maria then told her that she is married and I work at the same office. Amber then sneered at her and stated,
"Oh, you poor woman, held down by a man."
Amber then told her that the only reason that she is still an assistant because she let her marriage and her husband keep her grounded and to look at her. She has a house of her own, a convertible car and a nice job, and I am at the place where I can get any man I want. Maria by now was almost to tears and left Amber's office and went straight to the women's washroom. She cried for a while and then wiped her tears and came back on her desk. While all this was going on, I had no clue about it. That very same day I got my promotion in salary increment at office and I rushed to Maria for the good news. I reached her desk and told her about the good news. She looked up and I could see that she was not very happy. I asked what happened, and at that very moment Amber walked in. She asked me as to who I was. I told her I am the head of accounts and Maria is my wife. She gave a faint smile and looked at Maria and stated, "So this is the lucky man." She then stated that I have a great loyal wife and should be thankful to Maria. I told her that I thank the Lord and love Maria every day. While going home, Maria was quiet, and even when I took her out for dinner to celebrate my promotion, she was all quiet. I asked her what happened and she did not reply and just stated that she is a bit tired and wants to rest. I somehow felt that Amber was responsible for this. She did not come across as a nice person to me. Next day Maria did not return home with me and stated that she wants to go shopping with Amber. I was surprised and I could not understand it. I left the office and went home. It was around 11 p.m. that Maria returned and she was almost wasted and had 5 bags full of clothes with her. She was laughing and stated that she had a fun night and will do it again with Amber. I did not talk to Maria that night as she was in no condition to talk. Next morning, I asked Maria about the previous night. She stated that she bought some clothes and later went out drinking with Amber. She stated that Amber is single and alone and hence, Maria thought that it was okay to spend some time with her. I told her that it was not some time and she came home drunk. Maria suddenly got angry and stated that, "So what, can I not have some fun in my life?" I told her that I have many friends but I have never come home that late and wasted drunk, as I know there is someone waiting for me at home. She then said that I am free to have friends and I can go out and have fun. She then got up and stated that Amber will be here to pick me up for office. I asked why is she coming to pick you up? You always go to office with me. She stated that Amber is her senior and just helping her to get to office. I had my head scratching and went office alone that day. I even came back home alone. Once again that night Maria came back late and drunk. I did not wait for the morning and confronted Maria. It led to a big argument and it ended when Maria screamed.
I am not your slave. I will do anything I want. You got everything that you want and I stayed where I was. It is my time now. I can get whatever I want.
I saw a different woman that night. I left the room and we did not sleep in the same bed that night. I woke up that night and went to drink water when I saw her phone lying on the ground. She must have dropped it during the argument and I picked it up. I was about to put it back on the table when I saw a message arrive from Amber. I was now interested and brewed a cup of coffee and sat down to check her phone. Amber had sent her a video attachment. I opened it and saw a very familiar face. It was Mia Khalifa.
Men are the easiest thing in the entire world. If you are wondering how you and another woman got the same man, it is because men are the easiest thing in the entire world. I have never wanted a man and not gotten him. Do you have any idea how many men have wanted me and not gotten me? Men are cheap.
Yes, you can get any simp you want, but not a man. I know you are giving Tom Brady a run for his money in terms of your divorce rings. He won his rings with his hard work. He won the Super Bowl 7 times, 5 times Super Bowl MVP, and he was the same guy who fought his injury to come back and perform at the highest level. Your performance has been only on your all fours. Simps are easy, but a real man who dedicates his life to you is not easy. How many men have dedicated their life for your love? Let me guess, 0. My wife is in bad company. In the morning I asked Maria to sit down with me to have a clear conversation. I asked her what is on her mind. She then stated she wants to be successful. I asked her to define success. She had no words. I explained.
A couple have a son, and they are able to see him grow up to be a man is a success. That son having a family and having kids is success. A couple working, coming home, and sleeping together in one bed hugging each other is success. Having to wake up every morning and knowing that there is someone who loves you is success. Knowing that in case you fall there is your spouse who will come rushing to pick you up is success. Being successful is a state of mind. Being happy is a state of mind. We choose when to call ourselves successful and when to call ourselves happy.
I asked Maria, now tell me, how did my wife who was always happy turn into this woman sitting in front of me? She stated that she wants to be successful. I almost was at the edge of my patience and just got up and left for office. Later that night I asked Maria if she wants to go for a couples therapy and get things sorted between us. She just turned her back on me and slept. A week later came the phone call that was going to end my marriage. It was late evening around 10 p.m. and I got a call from a friend of mine. He asked me to come to the local strip club. I was shocked and asked him why does he want me there. He said Maria is here. I disconnected the phone and drove to that place. I went in and found that Maria and Amber both topless and dancing on the stage and licking the dance pole. That was not my wife, even if she was, well, not anymore. I went back home and slept in peace as I had now freed myself from all threads tying me to this marriage. Maria came back home and the bell rang. I did not get up to open the door. It rang for a few minutes, then it rang no more. Maria came back in the morning. I was having my coffee and I never felt so good in my life. I had no thoughts and nothing holding me down. I saw Maria rushing to take a bath and asked me to get ready for office. I smiled and asked if her boss is not picking her up. She hurried with her shoes and stated she will be late but asked me to be on time. I told her that I am on leave today. She looked at me with surprise and asked, when did you decide that? I said just now. I smiled and left the room. I went to the lawyer and informed him about the incidents and he assured me that he can get me out of the marriage. I asked him if I can personally deliver the divorce papers to Maria. He informed that he will call me when the papers are ready. I waited for him to get back. Meanwhile, back at home I was not talking to Maria and I walked around the house with my noise cancellation headphones. So, no disturbance at all. I was going to the office and meeting people with my usual smile, and no one knew what was going through my mind and what was I thinking. Then came the D-Day. My lawyer delivered the papers to me, to be handed over to Maria. Before I could hand the papers to Maria, I had to attend a meeting. In the meeting, I saw Amber sitting with Maria, and it was a company-wide meeting. I sat through it. Maria presented the editorial updates, and Amber proudly patted her back when she went back on her seat. Amber then proudly called on Maria.
Gentlemen, now that is a successful woman.
The CEO looked at me and asked Ramon, "You must be proud of your wife. What gift are you giving her today?" "She will have what is coming for her," I stated. Once the meeting was over and people walked out, Maria looked at me and Amber walked up to me and stated, "I have made your wife successful." I smiled at Amber and stated, "Great job, now keep her." I handed the papers to Maria and walked out. I heard a loud scream coming out of the meeting room. I knew that would hit like a train. My CEO, who was still outside the meeting room, looked confused and asked, "What did you do?" I smiled back and said, "Just some paperworks." I went home and soon Maria came home running, and by then I had packed her bags and kept them in the living room. She walked in and sat down with me. She was crying and asked why. I turned to her and said, "You chose a path where I cannot be your companion. You went naked in a strip bar for the world to see. I was just trying to have fun." Exactly what I said.
Your idea of fun is to strip naked and dance for the world to see. I don't do that. I have my boundaries of fun. Your boundaries have long been wiped off. So we cannot be together anymore.
She walked out with her bags. I went to my office next day and resigned. I served my notice and left my job. A few months down the line, I was divorced and free. My son was not happy, but I had to explain as why I did it. I left the state and went all the way to Nebraska and got myself some land and made a small farm. I have 5 dogs and a horse, few ducks, hen, and 3 pigs. From the office where I used to be with numbers all day, here I am surrounded by 5 dogs who don't go to strip clubs and just love me without a reason and will be with me forever. Happy to see Ramon finally at peace and happy. Please share your thoughts on the story.